welcome back to The Outsider's Perspective. My name's Ollie, and here's your loaf of daily bread. Today's loaf comes to us by way of the scientist and entertainer, Bill Nye the Science Guy. And he says, researchers have proven scientifically that humans are all one people. The color of our ancestors' skin is a consequence of ultraviolet light, of latitude and climate. There really is no such thing as race. We are one species. Each of us is much more alike than we are different. We're all made of the same stardust. We're all going to live and die on the same planet. A pale blue dot in the vastness of space. We have to work together. I don't know about you, but Beakman's World was my jam. I love that show. Bill Nye, on the other hand, I never really watched him until I had kids of my own, and then I put them in front of the TV and figured, if I'm gonna use the electronic babysitter, they might as well be watching something educational. And so my appreciation for Bill Nye has been many years in the making, but I finally do see what the big deal is about this guy, this science guy. Now, this quote in particular is near and dear to me because it perfectly captures my own personal opinion or philosophy with regards to race and the human animal. Namely, the idea that we are much, much more alike than we are different. We're 99% identical to one another, but for some reason we can't stop obsessing about that 1% that varies from person to person. It's like we're fixated on these little cosmetic differences like skin color or geography. Well, you're from there? Oh, you're part of that group. Well, I'm from here, which means I'm part of this group. That makes us enemies. Personally, I can't wait for humanity to evolve past this antiquated notion. Now, the problem, of course, is that we have this mind which is obsessed with classification. Everywhere you go, everything you detect or perceive is instantly labeled by your mind. If you watch yourself, if you practice mindfulness, you will see that this is so. Everything you look at, everything you experience, the mind is busy constructing a story and labeling it and assessing it, generating a value and assigning it to whatever it is that you're detecting. Now, this obsession with labeling and classifying has led to many positive results. By isolating a single part or aspect of a thing and subjecting it to all these different experiments, we've been able to make discoveries, and we've been able to invent things, and we've been able to do things that a mere 100 years ago would have been unimaginable to the average human being. So this obsession with labels, this need to categorize and classify and know what a thing is, isn't inherently bad. It only becomes problematic when we forget its proper function. And this is exactly what happens with race. Nobody is denying that there's a wide spectrum with regard to human biology. No one is denying that someone who was born in Africa is genetically and biologically slightly different from someone who was born in, say, Russia. This is not controversial to say that there is variety, genetically speaking, in the human family. But note, acknowledging this fact is not the same as asserting that there is such a thing as race. What you see are degrees of variation, and scientists have come in and arbitrarily put a line where they think it belongs. It doesn't matter where you're from, and it doesn't matter what your skin color is, and it doesn't matter what race you belong to. You need food. You need water. You need shelter. You long to feel a connection to other human beings. You long to be part of something that's greater than yourself. You don't want to suffer. You don't want to experience pain. And if you can, you want to experience positive emotions like joy and pleasure. Am I talking about a black person or a white person or a yellow person or a red person? Of course not, because it's true for all peoples, regardless of their genetic history. We all want the same things out of life, and we're all equipped with the same tools for achieving these things and for attaining these things. Our brains work the same, our bodies work the same. We literally are 99% alike. And we all came from the same source, my friends. We're all made up of the same stardust, and we're all stuck on this floating rock together. And it behooves us to fight and to argue and to undermine each other, especially over something as silly as the concept of race. We're all stuck on this planet together, so please, if you can, try to work with your neighbors. Try to be a little kinder. And try to ignore the red herrings, like skin color or race, because these are distractions and they are used against us by people who do not have our best interests at heart. The concept of race is used as a wedge to divide groups of human beings who are one and the same, belonging to a single family and coming from a single source. As I've said in the past, it doesn't matter whether you're a Young Earth Creationist or a Dawkins loyalist. You all agree. We come from the same source. You might disagree on the source itself, but you agree on the premise, which is we are all related. So please, can we evolve past this stupid idea of race? Can we see it for what it is, which is merely a convention? And can we stop actually thinking that there's real differences between people? And in any case, we're stuck together on this planet for the foreseeable future, so let's just work together. Pretty simple. Makes sense. At least in my mind it does. Anyway, that's just my thought for the day. Hopefully it will get the gears turning in your head. And if not, well, tune in next time and I'll do my best to get them turning then. See you next time.